So hey everyone, and in this video we are going to update and delete documents inside our MongoDB. So till now we have covered a lot in MongoDB. We have learned things like create and read part. Inside the create part we actually use the insert method to insert a document. Then we also learned about the read methods. Inside the read method we learned different filters and different options which we can use along with the read method, because read method is not just a like you just don't get the document. You have different methods, different requests which you make to get different type of documents, different fields of a document, right? So today we are gonna start with the update method. Inside update method we have update one and update many. Similarly, we are going to learn about the delete method. Delete method also has delete one and delete many. So these are the four tasks which we are going to perform right now. And after this, guys, we are also going to learn about MongoDB Atlas and MongoDB Compass. So these are actually two features of MongoDB. Like MongoDB Atlas is actually the free cloud service provided by MongoDB, and MongoDB Compass is a software which allows us to manipulate the database manually, right? So we are going to learn all of this together in this single video. So now, if you haven't watched the previous ones, please watch those, so that knowledge would be really useful today. Okay, so first of all, let's open Mongoose, and for that just go to your command prompt, and here guys I would simply say Mongoose. So it would actually open up this local one. Whenever you see 127001, it means we are in the local database. Okay, later on we are going to talk about cloud database which we are going to use via MongoDB Atlas. Okay, right now you can see we are in the local database. If I type show dbs, you can see we are here. If I type use my db1, we are actually inside this. Okay, so first of all, let me just show you how many products do we have, then we are going to update them, then delete them. Okay, so previously we have created a collection of products. Okay, so db.products dot find. So I would just show you all of them. So this would give us all of them. So you can see we have some objects. So this is actually the first object, second, third, fourth, fifth, then sixth object, seventh, eighth. Okay, so you can see we have total 7-8 objects here. Now first of all, I would like to update something. So for updating anything, that means you want to update one thing or you want to update multiple objects. What do you want? So you would simply say, for example, we have some you can see some objects. This is the first object whose name is xyz, and the second object whose name is xyz. So you can see we have two objects whose name field is having xyz. So suppose I want to update this. How you can exactly do this? So for that you can simply say db.products, okay, .products .update many. Okay, I want to update all the objects whose name is xyz. So update many, and inside this I would simply say I would provide the name must be xyz. Okay, so xyz, and I want to update it to what? So first of all, I'll just close this. Okay, and I want to update it to what? So I want to update it to something else. So what I would do is, here we have a method named as set. So set method would actually want to update whatever value you want to update to your key. For example, this is your key and its value is xyz. I want to change the xyz to suppose Viraj. So now the name must be Viraj. Okay, how you can do this? I would simply say set, and inside this you can just again pass the braces, and here I would simply say name, or I would just want to update something else. For example, I want to update the price. So what I've said, just target all the objects whose name, so this is the first object whose name is xyz. So first object, second object, I've targeted both of these. I want to change their price to something, so I would just say set their price to what? Set their price to 1, 2, 3, suppose 1, 2, 3. Okay, from 2300 I want to change their price to 1, 2, 3, or that would be better if I just change their price to something else. 3 to 1. Okay, that would be better. So I'm just changing their price to 3 to 1. Let's see what happens. I actually forgot to add a closing bracket. So now if I hit enter, you can see matched count to updated count to. You can see, yeah, that's how it actually works. Now if I just show you all of them, so you can actually see this was the XYZ, first XYZ. So you can see the price is 3 to 1. Second one is also price 3 to 1. That means if you want to update all the XYZs, you can easily do this. But if I only want to update the first occurring XYZ whose name is XYZ, what I can do is I can simply type update 1 whose name is XYZ, and I want to set its price to something like 1 2 3 3 2 1. Okay, so now if I hit enter, now if I just show you, so you can easily see that guys, we have simply updated this, right? We have simply updated this. So if I just show you here, you can see this is the first for XYZ whose name is XYZ. So you can see the price is 1 2 3 3 2 1 and rest everything was normal, right? So that's how update many and update one operation works. But one more important thing is, suppose if you want to update any specific object randomly, that means each object must be having a unique ID, right? So if you have a unique ID like this, so if you have a unique ID, so let me just copy this. Okay, so I'll just right click and it's copied. So I want to suppose update this 81. Okay, so I'll just say I want to update which one. I want to update that object whose ID, so underscore ID, then colon sign, and then I would simply paste it. So you can see I want to update it, and I would just set its price to some string. For example, like this, I want to update its price to some string. Okay, so now guys, if I hit enter, you can see now it's actually updated. So if you want to update a specific document, you can easily do it like this. Okay, so now you can exactly see that if I am talking about this P5, that means I'm talking about the specific ID, you can actually see that this is easily updated, right? So that's how actually the update one and update many operation works, and that's how you can easily update things, right? So now after this guys, we learned about the set method. We also have some method which is useful for changing the key. So you can see here what we have done is we have simply changed the value of price to this. Okay, that means the value of price would be changed, the value of key is not changed. For example, in this specific object which just now we updated, we want to change this to total price. Instead of price, it must be total price. How can I do this? So here what I have to do is, again I would just simply go here, and here I would simply write rename. Okay, so this is the rename flag. So rename, and what does rename method does is we would simply change it to change the key to total price. So since we have a space in between, so we would write it in inverted commas. Okay, double inverted commas. So now if I just show you like this, so now if I just hit enter, it would simply allow us to just update it like this. Okay, that's just updated, right? That's how it exactly works. And now suppose guys, if I just don't write anything, okay, okay, I would just say rename price everywhere. Okay, so if I just don't write anything, what would happen? So for that, if I hit enter, you can see that right now it didn't update anything. So first of all, you have to provide something, then only it would be able to update that. Okay, it won't be able to update that. Okay, suppose if I just write the key here, that means if I don't provide the value, if I just write the key here, so you can see that, yeah, you have to provide complete. Okay, you have to provide complete things, right? So this is very important. So it would be able to update accordingly. That's what we have done here, right? So guys, I hope you understood the update operation in the set and the rename part. Now we learned about the set and the rename part, but we want to unset something. How we can actually unset anything, how we can do that? So we would simply say, suppose in this specific one which we updated, you can see we updated which one, we actually updated this one, right? We updated this one. Here I want to totally remove this field. This actually comes in the delete part, but still you would be doing this in update also. So this is the update part. I want to just remove this total price field. How can I do this? I would simply say just pass that ID, document ID, which I want to update, and here I would just say I want to remove the total price field. So total price field, right? And here I would just say unset. Okay, so this is the unset method. We would actually remove the total field, complete field. And here you can see I'm actually getting an error. Why you are getting an error? Because you have to pass something here. So I'll just write 1 here. That means I want to just pass something here. Okay, so if I hit enter, now you can see that it actually removed that. Okay, so now if I just show you, you can actually see that from this one specific one, you can actually see, okay, which one did we update? We actually updated the 480. Okay, 480, I'm talking about this, right? So here, from here you can actually see that this does not have now the field which we are talking. Okay, so we actually updated the 480. 480 is now updated. You can see 480 is updated. 480 is updated. Now it does not have this field. Previously, if I talk about 480, you can actually see 480 actually had the total price field. Now it does not have the total price field, right? That's how it actually works. So right now guys, we learned about the set method, which is used for setting key to value to the key. We also learned about rename method, which actually is used to change the name of the key. Then we learned about the unset method, which is actually remove which would actually help us remove the complete field, right? That's how it actually works. Now if I just clear, so I would just write CLS, and now if I again show you complete data of my collection, you can see that it has having some fields. So right now, suppose you are talking about this specific object and it's containing an array of posts. You can see it's containing an array of posts. I want to update this array. Suppose it has thousands of elements. Either I can rewrite those thousands of elements, that would be fine, but it has lakhs of elements, so it would be very time waste. If even if few elements has some updates inside this array, you would have to update the whole array. That's not great, right? That's not great. So for that we have some methods, and we call it an embedded array. Okay, so if I talk about an object, inside that we have an array, so this is actually known as an embedded array. I want to update things inside this embedded array. How you can do this? So you would simply say db.products and db.products, and here guys, I want to update. Here I want to update, so I would simply say update one. Suppose I want to update one. Okay, update one, and I would look for the ID which I want to update. So again, underscore ID, right? And okay, let me just close it here perfectly, right? Never mess out the brackets because obviously they are very important and very confusing. Okay, so I want to target this specific object, so I'll just right click, copy. It would be copied automatically, and then I would just paste it, so it would be pasted automatically. I want to update this 489. Okay, this one, right? So just paste it like this. Now once you paste it, what you have to do is you want to add something to this array, so if anyone has learned JavaScript or any other programming language, they know that yeah, push method is used to add something to the array, right? So that's what we are gonna say. We are going to push something to this array. So first of all, we are just going to say what do we want. We want to push. We want to first of all push, so we would simply write push. That's it. Now where you want to push, that means inside what array you want to do push method. So I want to push inside the post array, right? So here I would simply write posts. That's it, post array, right? Now inside this I want to suppose push an object. So I want to push an object, so I would just say name, and I would just say user1. Suppose I want to push this object. Then after that I would also say age is 1 2 3. Okay, suppose like this. And suppose I would also push email, that means add email to the same object. So j123@gmail.com, and just close it, right? So that's what I want here. So now guys, if I just show you, yes, if I just now hit enter, what would happen? So now if I just show you the complete objects, you would see that here one new field is added. That means if you want to update this array, you would use the push method. So easily one field is added here, right? That's how it actually works. Now you are able to push something. Similarly, if you want to remove the last field, if you want to add something to the last of array, you would be using push method. If you want to remove something from the last of the array, you would be using pop method. So here guys, I would simply write pop. Okay, so sorry, it's actually post. Inside this flag would be actually pop this time. And what I want is, I would simply say just pop the last object available inside post. That's it. Just pop the last object inside this post. And do one more thing. Here you just need to write this 1. Okay, that's it. So now what would happen, it would actually remove the last object or value which is available inside the array. So now if I just show you this, you can easily see that yeah, it actually removed the last object which was available. Okay, although I have added an object here, you can see that I was actually adding an object. This was an object, right? This was an object, but instead of this you can add normal values also. For example, you can see we have normal values like numbers. You can also add some string. So let me just show you this. So here we would again say we want to just push something at the end of this array, and inside the post I would just want to push 1 2 3 4 some number. Okay, that means I want to just push some numbers. So just add the brackets properly. If I hit this, now if I just show you, you can actually see at the end a number is added. Similarly, you can add a string also. If I want to add a string, for example, I would just want to add a string like this. Okay, suppose I want to add a string. Now it would actually easily add a string here. So you can see that's how it actually works. If I just show you, you can easily see that yeah, we have actually added a string. Okay, so that's how actually the pop method works. Now if you want to update a specific field, suppose I want to say that suppose this is a post array and we have some unique identifier. For example, you might have an ID inside each object. You can assume that these are objects, although they are just numbers, but you can assume all of them are objects like these. Okay, and they have some unique identifier. For example, each user is having some unique name. This username is Viraj, this username is AJ123. Suppose I want to update the field of this username. I want to update fields of this username, specific username. How can I target this? I'm not popping out, I'm not pushing something. I want to update the field itself. How can I do this? I would simply write db dot products. Okay, so db dot products, and here guys I would simply write update 1, and I want to just update which ID. So I would just write underscore ID, and let me first of all complete this. Okay, and here guys I would just say I want to update some ID. Which ID? So I would again just copy this ID. Okay, I'm sorry, not this one. I would just copy this ID, object ID, as it is. Okay, and then it would be pasted here. Just right click and it would be pasted automatically. Now here what I want to do is I want to update this. First of all, inside this I have to target something. What I'm saying is inside this I've targeted the object, right? I've targeted the object with this ID. Inside this I want to do something. What I want is I want to update this ID. Okay, update this specific object. Inside this I want to look for posts. So I would simply say, actually I did a mistake here. We are not going to have these brackets, we are going to have this bracket. That's it. Okay, so you can see now I think this is fine. Yes, this is totally fine. So I'm just saying inside this I want to update something. Okay, so first of all I looked for the ID. Inside that specific object I have to look for what? So I have to look for posts. Okay, I have to look for posts array. Inside that post array, find that name whose value is suppose viraj. That means I'm just saying, first of all find this object. Inside that object find posts. Inside the post find that object whose name is Viraj. That's it. That's what I have sent. So that's what I have written here. Find that object whose name is Viraj. That's it. Okay, that's it. Now once you write this, you can simply update this specific object. So I would just say set method is used to update the fields, right? So here I would just say again inside into that specific index I would just write post dollar, find that specific index by using dollar. Then I would simply write name. So here dollar simply says I would find that specific index. Into that specific index, I'm just saying into that specific index of the post array, dollar simply it indicates that specific index. Okay, I'm inside this, I'm targeting name or something else. So I'm just saying I want to change the email of this user. So I've targeted that specific object's email. Okay, I want to change it to something. So I would just say change it to something like aj123@gmail.com. Okay, I want to change it to this, right? From aj123 to aj123@gmail.com, right? I want to change it to this. How it would exactly work? So yeah, one more bracket must be here. So I think now it's totally fine. Right? Okay, now if I hit enter, you can see now update is done, modified count is 1. So now if I just show you, you can actually see, yes, now the old email which was hj123, you can now see it's easily modified to hj123@gmail.com. How did it happen? So it actually happened because you can simply see what have I done is I've simply targeted that specific object, okay, targeted that specific object. Inside that I looked for posts, inside that I looked for posts, inside that post I look for that name whose name is Viraj, I look for that name whose name is Viraj. Instead of this, you could have looked for an unique ID, you could have provided a unique ID to each object, and then you can have looked for that. But yeah, I've looked for the name, I've looked for that specific object whose name is Viraj, look for that. Inside that I have modified the email using simply by the method of set. So inside set I have simply said find that specific object's email and update it to something else. That's what I have done, right? So that's how actually things work, guys. And this is just for the set part. Now suppose inside set or inside unset, whatever you want, like if I give you example of set, you can see we are updating one field, but here also we can update two fields also. Okay, we can update two fields also. We would just say post and then $sign, and suppose I want to update the name also, so I would just say name must be something else, or just suppose I want to make the name in capital HARSHAL. okay, suppose I want to update the name like this, so just hit enter. Now you can see it's modified. So if I just show you, so you can actually see that yeah, name is also modified, right? So if you want to modify two fields together, you can actually give a comma and you can easily write it like this. Okay guys, so till now we have covered some update operation. First of all, we learned about the update one, we updated one object. We learned about update many for updating many objects. We learned about the set method for setting values to the key, and then we learned about the rename method for setting a name for the key. That means you can change the name of the key. Then we learned about the unset method, which would actually remove the whole field, full pair of key value into that specific object. That's unset method. Then we also learned about updating embedded array using the push method, pop method, and then we also use the set method by targeting that specific field into our array. So these were some methods which we discussed right now in the update part, right? This was the update part of MongoDB.